Good afternoon and welcome to a very special edition of Living Well with Adena. I'm Dr. John Gabus, Medical Director of Community Partnerships, and we're coming to you live from the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute on the campus of Adena Regional Medical Center. We have two very important guests with us today, Kathy Edrington, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Adena Health System, and Dr. James Fleming, who is a spine surgeon and the Medical Director of Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute. So welcome to Living Well with Adena.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you can tell that we're not in a classroom or a set. We're in the AOSI building here on the campus in Chillicothe. So as we go through this, if you have any questions or comments, please put them into the comment section in the chat, and we'll get to those as quickly as we can. So this is a very, very important moment, not just for you two, but for Adena Health System and our community. So can you tell us a little bit about the genesis of this and how we ended up here today in this beautiful building?
Yeah, I can start. 4 years ago, it's been about 4 years now that I've been here. When I got here, it was obvious that we needed to expand in this service line and that we needed to be able to meet the needs of our community. And so as they've continued to grow, we had to have a space that was different. It's unique. Mm-hmm. It's something that really meets the needs and the wants of the people who get care in this part of Ohio. So my role in it has really been about how to make it happen from an operational standpoint, working from, with my operations team and the executive team and the board to make this happen. And then, of course, working with our providers to take this dream that has been around providing this orthopedic care to a reality.
Terrific. Dr. Fleming, how about you? What are some impressions that you have of actually being in this space? You've been looking at pictures and architects' renderings. What's it feel like?
Well, I hope some of you in the community can come out to see it. There are going to be tours on Saturday, the 21st. And I've been to a lot of medical institutions. But this place really feels like us. When I say us, I mean our community. It has a warm, engaging home feeling. You don't feel like you're in a hospital. There's artwork from local artists. There's beautiful views from the patient rooms of the mountains of Chillicothe, of the greenery. There's woodworking everywhere. It feels exceedingly warm. It does not feel like you're in a hospital. And I think that all promotes healing. And I think this community deserves it. And I'm not just talking about Chillicothe community. I'm talking about Ross County and the surrounding other 8 counties that we serve. You shouldn't have to go all the way to Cincinnati or to Columbus or elsewhere for excellent orthopedic care. So I view it as my charge is to make sure we have excellent orthopedic care, the right docs, the right people, the people who fit with the community, and who are interested in taking care of our people. So
there's so much in there to unpack.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. We know that orthopedics has grown dramatically in our region over the last several decades. How has it morphed to its current state? What type of physicians and advanced practice providers are on your team? What does it take to recruit them to come here to Chillicothe?
Well, I sit here in awe because I came here in 2014 and I was the second orthopedic surgeon. That was it. We had 2. And now in the fall, we'll have over 40 providers, 42 to be exact, who are taking care of people in all aspects of orthopedic and musculoskeletal care. So if you ask which type of services, we have physiatrists who are rehabilitative and musculoskeletal non-operative care type physicians who take care of those type aspects. We have neurologists who are experts in the nervous system as part of our team. And I'm not just talking one, we have 4. One of the things we've grown to provide choice and to provide different areas of expertise. So in the neurology realm, we have a pediatric neurologist and we have adult neurologists. And I'm not going to go through all our specialties.
Sure.
We have non-operative sports medicine, people who can take care of basic fracture care in all aspects, sprains, strains, where you don't need a surgery. In fact, they refer to the surgical end users, like myself. If you look at the orthopedic side, we have total joint surgeons, so someone who helps with hip and knee total joints. We have two hand surgeons, and they don't just do hands. It's essentially elbow, hand, and shoulder that they take care of. Anything in the upper extremity. We have two spine surgeons. Myself and Dr. Blake Walker is a neurosurgeon. And we have a neurosurgeon at Adena now who's already
Wow.
here. We have interventional pain management physicians who they don't just handle medicine and they don't just handle spinal care, but they handle all types of pain, whether it be cancer pain or pelvic pain.
Sure.
If you have a painful condition, I can tell them or you can see them and they will handle all different types of painful conditions with a variety of modalities to do that. So that's just some of the aspects of this group. So we're all in one building. We all interact with one another. We run some cases or patient care isn't straightforward, as you know, John. You know, you might have a case or a condition where they've had a stroke and they have arm weakness. And but they also have pinched nerves in the neck that could be causing arm weakness. So I can walk down the hall literally, and I've done this many times, and ask one of our colleagues, do you think this is more from his stroke or do you think it's more from the stenosis? And we confer and we talk about different testing we might do. And so you get a multiple experts making a decision on your care. And I think that gives you the best opportunity for care.
Great. That comprehensive, collaborative care,
Correct.
team-based care.
Yes.
So, Kathy, what were some of the challenges of building this building in the setting that it's in? Because I know you can't just kind of stop everything and just build a building. Everything had to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So what were some of the challenges that had to be overcome to get this building to today?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the community and what the community needs are. And with the orthopedic care here, we have some higher comorbidities. So
And comorbidity
meaning, patients that maybe have a lot more disease processes maybe than other parts of the state or the country. And so making sure that we can provide both inpatient observation care was a key thing. A lot of orthopedics has moved totally to being an outpatient service, which of course we want to offer that if we've got optimization of our patients. But putting it on this campus logistically, how we have, really gives us some flexibility there because it's just what we deal with in this community, right? So logistically, from an operation standpoint, challenged to figure out how we're going to operate other operating rooms, as we move over into this new center, but it's a good problem to have because we've had a lot of growth outside of the AOSI that this building is really going to allow for us to expand in other service lines, which is great.
Yeah, that's good. I know that the availability of space on this campus to expand other service lines, there isn't any up until, September 1st there will be.
Yeah.
Talk about how the operating rooms here will be different than the main operating room where everybody has surgery there. What's going to be different about the operating rooms here?
Well, I can talk a little bit about that. This building exceeds the standards of care in the industry for building codes and operating room items. For example, the rooms are rounded, the operating rooms have rounded corners so you don't collect dust or bacteria that can adhere or get stuck to corners and things. So that makes it more easy to clean. The things don't collect in corners, for example. There's special coatings on the walls and materials that also prevent bacteria or dust or things getting stuck on them. So that improves your risk of infection. There's special air flow elements built into the rooms. There are ways that they've designed the room such that it limits traffic flow. So you don't bring instruments in with a person handing you the instrument and walking in, and it comes through what's called a secret passageway to the operating room. So multiple design elements to enhance patient safety, lessen the risk of infection. There's monitors in the room, for example, while we are operating, where the entire room can see what you're doing and anticipate the surgical moves that you make, so that makes the operation more efficient. So, which lessens the time of the operation, et cetera. So those are just some of the design elements in the operating rooms themselves that can enhance care.
That's great. And operationally, if I'm a patient who may have fallen and broken my hip, and I need to have that surgically fixed, and I come to AOSI, am I going to have to move over to the main hospital after surgery?
No, that's what's so great, and the beauty of this is it's a vertical structure and a vertical experience that allows for the patient to come in, have their testing done here, see their provider in the clinic here, get some physical therapy here, have an inpatient stay or an observation stay if they have to, have their surgery done here. It allows for everything to happen in this building, and it allows to enhance those providers being able to care for that patient outside of the clinic. How Dr. Fleming was talking about how they collaborate now, it's going to take it just to the next level.
Oh, that's awesome. So a word that might be used to describe this place is a destination center, because it's a destination for all of the care that's needed for an episode of care or ongoing care.
Yeah.
So how is this special place, this warm, special place, designed to help our caregivers in their work environment? Because it's a stressful job for all of us in healthcare. But are there design elements built into this building to help those nurses and physical therapists that are working here?
I would say yes, absolutely. And really, if you see where our current orthopedic space is now, this is going to be a large change. They have become very efficient and a very tight space. So it will be a change for folks as they come to this new building, because they're actually going to have the space. But like Dr. Fleming talked about, those pass-through cabinets, the way the ORs function, how we have our clean core hallway that goes back behind the operating rooms, where the elevators are located. So mindful, and having caregivers from the front line actually designing this building for us so that it could make their work life easier and they could feel like they were giving the best possible care to their patients.
That's great.
And I must add that we have, you talked about the stress for the caregivers. We have a workout area for our providers to relieve some stress. We even have a couple dedicated rooms, which I'll call them chill out rooms. So if you've had a stressful day, we have a first-rate coffee cafeteria. Bring your coffee up to that area. You need 20 minutes to just kind of settle yourself. We have areas for that as well. So,
wow, it sure sounds like the entire spectrum of care has been considered.
absolutely.
So I know that it's an inside Adena joke, but as I look out the window, I'm looking down at the only parking garage structure in the Tri-County area. So that's a sign to me of the growth of Adena. And how does that help decompress parking on our campus? Because I know that that's been an issue.
I think it helps a lot. Obviously, we want to make it easy for the patients who are coming into this building to stay within this vertical structure. So pulling that off of specifically around our pavilion and our medical office building, parking is going to be huge and create a lot more space for our patients.
How many spaces are in that
There's
facility?
about 260 spaces.
That'll be a big help.
But it gets better than that, because we have a concierge type of service. So there'll be people who are facilitating any aspect of your experience in the building, like if you need directions to go somewhere, or if you're being discharged, they can call down for your car. Our valet people will pick up the car. It'll be ready for you right at the front door when you get. So not only do we have the parking, but we have a kind of a service component that expedites your
Let's
process.
let's talk some more about that, because I know if this is going to be a destination center, it's not just the technical care that's received, but it's the personal care that's received. Talk about what it's like to have a concierge approach, and how will that roll out, not just to AOSI, but how will that roll out to Adena overall? Could you talk
Sure.
to that?
We've been very focused on that, specifically starting with this building. And, Dr. Fleming talked a lot about the look and the feel of this center. And really, when you think of concierge, you think of creating that experience that is personal. It's meaningful not only to the patient, but to their entire family that's here. And so concierge can go, beyond ballet. It could be other services that they need help with outside of here. It could be food. It could be all different kinds of things. And we really see it as being a springboard for us as a health system. We've done a lot of education with those folks that are coming into the center, our providers and the frontline staff. We've engaged the Ritz-Carlton outside of here, which everyone knows the Ritz-Carlton or has heard of it. And they are a company that has won the Malcolm Baldrige Award, which is the high quality functioning award for the high service that they provide. And they've won it not once, but twice. And so they've provided a lot of companies, and Jeff brings us up all the time, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, everyone knows Chick-fil-A for that great service. They learned from the Ritz-Carlton. So we've engaged and developed a program that's specific to Adena, and that will be rolling out to the entire health system over the next 12 months.
That's great, because when you're not feeling your greatest, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to enjoy the experience, but having people anticipate your needs and having people consider your whole body, your whole person needs, I think that will be a big game changer for not only AOSI, but for Adena Health System completely. So the concierge service will be a unique component of the destination. Ease of parking, ease of access to therapies will be another component. How will the public know about this? How will we get the message out to the patients in our region, potential patients, future patients, about what's happening here?
Well, I didn't anticipate that question, but I'll give you my answer. I think, first of all, it's events like this. It's radio shows that I've done. It's this live event. It's the hospital being engaged with the community. So there's a big event this Saturday where anybody can come in. I'm not just talking about patients. I'm talking about bring your kids, bring your grandkids. There are things like Build-A-Bears. They have something from the Children's Museum, people coming out. There's free food, there's games, there's etc. So it's a community event. This is a building for, obviously it's a hospital related building, but I think Kathy and I and most of the staff feel this is for our community. It is, I'm from Cleveland. When we finally won a championship in 2016, LeBron James said, Cleveland, this is for you. And when I see this building to me is our surrounding 8 counties, Ross County, Chillicothe, this is for you. It's the people in this building dedicated to your care. And I think our staff are going to get the word out. Word of mouth is the best communication. I think people who visited the building, our staff and others, are you cannot be but impacted when you come through here. They're going to say, you should really see that building. You should really see what they're doing in terms of enhancing our training to give a better experience. I know personally that with recruiting physicians, I want to give people choice. So I'm recruiting people who have different areas of expertise, but most importantly, I'm bringing people who fit with the community, who are people, who are good communicators, who have ties to this community, who, there's, the warm type of individual that you want taking care of you. And that's high on my priority for qualities that I'm looking for in our recruits. So I think all those things will lead to word of mouth, will lead to spread, will lead to excitement, and hopefully we'd love to take care of you.
Great. Can you give a few more details about the specifics for the event on Saturday?
Absolutely. So on Saturday from 10 to 2, we'll be doing an event where you can come in and they'll have guided tours, which will allow for you to go in and see all these awesome spaces that we're talking about. And it's really a huge opportunity because it's before we have patients in the building. So you can see all the little nooks and crannies, which is great.
Will they be able to see the secret passageway?
Yes, they sure will. They'll be able to see that. And then we have events for children. Like Dr. Fleming said, the Children's Museum will be here. They'll be able to build a bear. We'll have games for them to play, like operations. There'll be food and snacks, and we'll have providers here as well. So you can ask questions, kind of learn about the different service lines. So it's really a great opportunity, and please bring your entire family.
Good. So that's 10 to 2 this Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
August the 21st, here at the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute on the campus of Adena Regional Medical Center. So I also want to remind our live viewers, if you have any questions, please enter those into the comment section and we'll get to those. As a matter of fact, we have one, and it's about our future, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When or will you be having a specialty hospital for heart patients?
Oh, that's such a good question. It's definitely part of our long-range financial plan around where we want to go. And how, we talked a lot about the legacy beds that we have here as well at Adena Regional. So I would say it is within the next 5 to 7 years that we are really evaluating this. We know that the heart service line is something that is, again, going back to comorbidities and disease. It is one that that we really need to continue to expand and grow upon. We've done a lot of great work in cardiovascular and building that service line, specifically in structural heart. And so I say 5 to 7 years, you're going to probably see some more growth in that area.
Good. And I think that speaks again to the community need.
Mm-hmm.
Adena is not expanding just to expand.
Mm-hmm.
We're expanding to meet the needs of our community.
Absolutely.
And that certainly meets our mission and our vision, and we bring our values to bear here in AOSI.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else about this beautiful setting and the unique care, the concierge care? Is there anything else that you would want our viewers to know about?
Well, I like people to be mindful that this AOSI structure is right next to the hospital. So there may be other locations, or some of my orthopedic colleagues, they have a surgery center out detached or not near a hospital, et cetera. And when you run into patients who have comorbidities or complicated problems, and there's any type of issue, they have to be shipped by ambulance or something to a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
We're directly connected to the hospital. We have internists and hospitalists and cardiologists and general surgeons, et cetera. If I need to consult on any problem, they are right here and can respond immediately. So I don't want us to forget that we are part of the hospital system. And that's another advantage of being right here on campus.
Okay, terrific. Kathy, do you have any other ideas or thoughts about this upcoming event this weekend, or the opening?
Mm-hmm.
September the 1st, I think, is the official opening for patient care.
Yep, it's the September 1st. It's just special. That's the best. I mean, you and I've talked about this multiple times. I think Dr. Fleming has articulated so well what we're going to offer from a service line perspective. But since I've been here, this is a special place. And I think that this is going to be unbelievable for this community. I truly do. I think it's much needed. It will be much appreciated. And I echo Dr. Fleming's thoughts around the fact that when you walk through here, you feel like you're in Chillicothe. And they have just captured that so well.
Yep.
So I'm very excited for the community.
I experienced that on my tours and just today walking through the colors, the comfort, the hominess.
Mm-hmm.
So not that I'm looking forward to any more joint replacements,
Right.
but if I need it, this is certainly going to be where I get my care.
I truly believe that it will be our patients that get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they'll come here and they'll get an unbelievable experience. not only with our providers, but our frontline caregivers. And that is going to be a game changer for us.
I agree. Friends taking care of friends,
That's
neighbors
right.
caring for neighbors.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Living Well with Adena. And one of the components of our event on Saturday, 10 to 2, here at the new building, the Adena Orthopedic and Sports and Spine Institute, is having COVID vaccines for our
Yes,
community.
we are going to have COVID
So
vaccines.
I knew there was one item that I
Yep.
wanted to get out. So from 10 to 2, Adena Health System will be offering free COVID vaccines here on the campus of AOSI in the second floor, which is on the second floor of the building. There'll be signage to direct you to your free COVID vaccine. We encourage you, please get vaccinated, and that'll help all of us. So once again, thank you for joining us on this very special edition of Living Well with Adena, and join us again in 2 weeks when we'll have another exciting topic. Thank you and have a great day.